Hi, everybody. So we are not having family movie night today. Today we're doing a special video that's going to also be part of our Wednesday video. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time with the series that I did a couple of years ago, where I went through all of the Academy Award nominated films for Best Feature Animated Film. And I went through and watched all of the nominees and decided, did the right one win? We have the Oscars coming up fairly soon. I'll be doing this year's entry in that series once the results are in. And it's always a lot of fun to get to watch some of these independent films that are nominated. And I always try every year to watch all of the films that are submitted to the Academy. So the Best Feature Animated Film Oscar started in 2001, and it was first awarded to Shrek. That was the very first winner of the award. And so I thought, what about before that? What would have been nominated and what would have won? And so that's what we're going to start doing. And we're looking at 2000. And I did the best that I could to watch everything that I thought would have had a chance of being on the short list and might be up for a nomination. And I can honestly say, after going through this process, that I think that the award has helped animation, and especially those smaller films, because there really wasn't much of quality in the smaller independent realm. And I don't know if that's just 2000, and we'll see that going past that, there were some good things, but there wasn't much that I could find in 2000 that was worthy. What we're going to do today is we are going to look at what I think would have been the short list that films have submitted for nomination. And we're going to go through each of them, and then I'm going to make the nominations in this video. And then we'll have the video on Wednesday where I declare the winner, what I think would have won, and what I think should have won if they had the award back in 2000. And if you like this, then we can continue and keep going back and back and back and back for many, many years. And it could be really fun. So let me know what you think. This was a lot of work. So if I don't get positive feedback, then I probably won't bother. But if you enjoy it, let me know. So here we go. Let's talk about the movies that could have been up for nomination in the year 2000. So we start out with a couple anime properties. There wasn't a film from Studio Ghibli this year. We did have the start of several popular franchises in the year 2000. We have Pokemon, the movie 2000. This has a very low Rotten Tomato score of 19%. And I guess if you're not invested in the world of Pokemon, then you won't enjoy it very much. But I say I'm marginally invested. I don't know much about it, but I have watched a number of the films. And this movie actually has two different parts to it. And the first is like a 20-minute short, and then the main part is The Power of One. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was overall a fun little movie, and you get to know the characters. You get introduced to Ash and the rest of our characters, and I think they're really cute, and their design and the animation is pretty good. So I don't think it's worthy of a 19% as it has on the Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think that it is worthy of an Academy Award nomination, though. Then we have Digimon, the movie, and I actually wasn't able to find this. I looked and looked. I watched a trailer, and I'm not an expert on Digimon either, but what I've heard from some of my friends is this was also multi-part, but that it did a pretty good job of introducing you to the characters. I know that later on they would have the Try movies and some of the other things. I got to interview one of the voice actors that voices Tai Kamiya, Joshua Seth, a couple of years ago. And so that was really fun. So I got to see some of the Digimon movies back then. This one would not have been nominated for an Academy Award. I just don't see that happening in a million years. You also had One Piece, the movie. I couldn't find this one. My friend told me that it is out of print, and so I couldn't find it. I did watch the One Piece movie in 2019, and I thought it was actually pretty fun. I enjoyed it. So it was crazy, kind of madcap. And so that's interesting, but I can't imagine that getting a nomination. So those are your anime films from 2000. Then we have Road to El Dorado, and Road to El Dorado was the DreamWorks film for that year. It has songs by Elton John and music by Hans Zimmer, and the animation is really beautiful. It has a lot of energy and a fun kind of comedic spirit to it all, but I think that the two lead characters are so unlikable that it makes it difficult to be invested in the film. You really feel like they're both kind of slimy, and just I don't think we get enough of a growth montage from either of them. And they're not like teenagers, so you can't excuse it. They're grown men, and the way the women are portrayed isn't my favorite. And I still think it might get nominated, so I'll put that as a maybe for the end of the video. Okay, because it is DreamWorks and because it is so beautifully made with the good songs, although none of the songs were nominated for the song award. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, then we had Titan AE. This is by Don Bluth, and this is one that I'd heard about for so long, but I had never seen. So I finally watched it, and I was hoping it would be this sort of hidden gem that I would love, and I'm not much of a sci-fi person, so that may be part of the reason why I didn't love it, but I found it all incredibly predictable and incredibly generic, and I didn't even think it was that beautiful. I would way rather watch a million other films than this film. I just didn't think it was anything special, unfortunately. So I think this is in the maybe camp of being in the nominations, but let's keep going forward. Then there was Cyberworld, and this was an all CGI IMAX movie where they go into the world of computer graphics. And I was only able to see a trailer of this. And I remember they talked about it a lot when it first came out, and particularly about because I'm a big Simpsons fan, and the Simpsons characters, Homer, was featured pretty predominantly. But I wasn't able to find this one either, but I don't see it getting nominated in here. Maybe it's possible, but I think they would go with more of a traditional narrative than this kind of thing. So then we have the Tigger movie, and the Tigger movie is actually quite sweet. So this is about Tigger trying to find his family, and it's done very well. And if you're invested in these characters, then you'll like it. Little kids will like it. The Carly Simon songs are very sweet, and it has great voice cast. And so I think this is enjoyable, but I just don't see it as being something that would be nominated for an Academy Award. If the 2011 Winnie the Pooh wasn't, then I don't think this would have much of a chance. It still had that sort of direct to DVD kind of feel about it. And so I don't see that happening. Okay, then we have Dinosaur, and Dinosaur was from Disney, of course. And this has some incredible visuals that you have. And I think that was the main appeal at the time. It did very well at the box office. And so I think that this actually would end up getting nominated. It has a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I think people were pretty disappointed with the plot and the story, but I still think that it was enough of a spectacle to end up getting the nomination. So then we have Princes and Princesses, and this is by Mikel Ocelot, who did the Kirikou movies, and he was a big name back then. The Kirikou movies did very, very well, and this has that kind of silhouette look. It looks like something that Lottie Edinger would have done at the time. I could only find it in French, and so I didn't really understand a lot of what was going on, but luckily it's not too complicated at the same time, so I was able to understand it. And I think this is actually also a definite maybe, so let's leave that till the end, till we decide. This definitely, with the right publicity, I think could have been one of those fourth or fifth spots. So you're always like, what's that movie? So then we have Rugrats in Paris, the movie. So this movie is pretty simple. It's basically your Rugrats characters, and they get lost in Paris and have all kinds of shenanigans going on. And it's pretty entertaining. It's pretty fun. If you are invested and like these characters, if you liked the first movie, then you'll like this one. it's pretty simple as far as that is concerned, but the animation is nice, is well done. They keep the things going, it keeps things moving, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. So overall, it's pretty enjoyable. And this one has a 76 on Rotten Tomatoes, so pretty decent critic score. But I just don't see this one getting an Academy Award nomination. So I think that will probably be a no on that one. So then we have Fantasia 2000, and this is one that I would definitely consider to be a lock for a nomination. It's going to get nominated. It just has so much prestige as far as the Fantasia brand. And I don't like the guest stars, but I think if anything, that helps it in the likelihood of it getting a nomination, because who are voting on this and making the nominations, the stars themselves. And just the level of quality to the animation and the prestige of it all, I just can't imagine it not being included in this group of nominations. So it would definitely count. So then we have The Emperor's New Groove, and this one is a tricky one. I don't know if it would actually get a nomination because you have already had 2 from Disney in that pack. And also, I think that it's a little silly for the Academy. I mean, yes, they have nominated Boss Baby and stuff like that, so you never know. But this guy turning into a llama, I don't know if they would nominate it. They did nominate one of the songs, so maybe that one's also a maybe. Okay, then we had a really random movie called The Scarecrow, and The Scarecrow is directed by Richard Rich, and who did The Swan Princess. And this film was released by Warner Brothers, not some like obscure thing. And the music is actually not so bad. It's about this scarecrow that when he wears a feather in his hat, then he turns into a man. And there's this girl named Polly, and Polly ends up kind of falling in love with the scarecrow, but of course he is a scarecrow, so that creates a problem. And there's this maniacal evil man in the land, and the songs are actually pretty decent, but the story is such a ripoff of Beauty and the Beast, even to the point of her wearing a yellow dress for a long period of time. There's also a lot of other weird Disney copycats. Like there's a enchanted broom that looks so much like the enchanted brooms of Fantasia. There's a kind of quirky mouse sidekick. There's just a lot of things in here. There's a lot of moments with the scarecrow that feel kind of Pinocchio-ish. I think that it just feels so derivative. And also they have all this theme of dancing throughout the movie, but it's not time appropriate dancing at all. Like they're doing disco dancing and they're doing swing dancing and stuff. So that kind of takes you out of the feel of even just sort of a Broadway kind of style of picture like you have with Disney. And the animation is kind of terrible. So this was not good. I don't think it has a chance that it would have gotten nominated. It has 0 reviews, which is kind of weird on Rotten Tomatoes for something from a major studio. I think is interesting to have none. So maybe I'll have to add my review after this, and that will be interesting. Then we also have the most for sure lock of all is Chicken Run. This is from Aardman. This is maybe the best movie they ever made, have ever made. Wallace and Gromit or Chicken Run, both so fun, so good. Love the claymation, love the story in Chicken Run. I love the villain. Mama Tweety is hilarious. She's so bad. And I just love moments like, I don't want to be a pie. And it's charming. They love Aardman with the Academy, as they should. And it has 97%, one of the best reviewed films of the whole year on Rotten Tomatoes. Everybody loves Chicken Run. I watch it every year at Thanksgiving, even though it's turkeys, chickens, it's close enough. So then the last movie that I watched for this series is The Magic Pudding. And what do you say is The Magic Pudding? The Magic Pudding is crazy. It is from out of Australia, and I guess it's based on a series of like nursery rhymes type things. And it's about these people that find this magic pudding that talks and regenerates. they go on this adventure and some people are trying to steal the magic pudding, and it wasn't as bad, I guess, as I thought. You also have this koala bear who is looking for his family, but I just thought that it was so bizarre and so strange, and the musical numbers are just not great and long, and I really hated that little pudding. It was really, and also like maybe a little bit racist. I don't know at times, but yeah, it was a very strange movie. So I don't know, you Australians out there, but I don't think that this would get nominated. So we have 3 solid picks that are going to be that will get nominations. We have Chicken Run, Fantasia 2000, and Dinosaur. Even though I think Dinosaur is one of the worst of all of the Disney films, I still think how well it did the box office and how important it was at the time is seen as this CGI kind of standout. So I think it would get one of the spots. So then we have Road to El Dorado. We have Princes and Princesses, and The Emperor's New Groove. So that's 3 movies for our 2 remaining spots. So I actually think that Princes and Princesses would get one of the spots. Like I said, I think that Mikel Ocelot was a big deal back then. He had just had Kirikou come out, and I feel like they always want to have sort of an independent film in these groupings. So I think that would get the 4th spot. So then it's Road to El Dorado versus The Emperor's New Groove. And would they pick to nominate a DreamWorks musical versus a Disney non-musical? And obviously, I think that The Emperor's New Groove is by far the superior film, but I actually think that they would nominate The Road to El Dorado. I think it being a musical, I think it having a lot of stars in it, having Elton John songs and having beautiful animation, I think it's enough that it would give it one of its spots, and they wouldn't give 3 spots to Disney. They've done it before, but I just don't see them doing it this time. So let's talk about our nominees for Best Animated Feature Film in the year 2000. What I think would have been the nominations, not my favorite, but just the 5 that I think would have been nominated. So we have Chicken Run, we have Fantasia 2000, we have Dinosaur, we have Princes and Princesses, and The Road to El Dorado as our nominees. So which one do you think is going to win out of these 5? Which ones would you pick? What would be your nominees? I'd be very curious, and we'll see what happens on Wednesday when we pick the winner of what would have and should have won for the Animated Oscars 2000. It will be a lot of fun, so make sure to check that out. And thank you so much. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it so much. Please check out #AnimationJunkie shirts at the merch store. We would be so grateful for that. And we also have our Patreon group where we have lots of good discussion about animation and so many other things. And thank you so much. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.